Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and I am sharing with you the partial kit I picked to go along with my round 3 of my Shimelle Clear the Desk class. Now, part of round 3 was choosing a kit you have in your stash that you partially used and adding it to your leftovers from round 2. So this is a kit I bought on clearance at Studio Calico. It is the March 2014 kit, and when I got it, I did not get those wood veneer buttons you see in the picture, and I have used it. I no longer have that multicolor scallop paper. I don't have that tone-on-tone pink color, but what I do have, I'm adding to my leftovers and making some layouts.
All right, now that you've seen the Studio Calico kit I added to my second round to do my third round of the Shimelle Clear the Desk class, I'm going to share with you the layouts I made. Now, one of the things she talks about, and as I said before, because this is paid class content, I don't necessarily want to go into all of the design principles she talks about, but I will just say, using busier backgrounds, you can definitely do that. I've done it several times throughout the different rounds of this class. And the idea is that if you choose something like here, my background is pretty dark and basic, and we're the focus with people, whereas I would not necessarily use this paper if I was doing nature shots or us in a field, because then your photos get lost. And obviously Xanthi is with me right now. So this paper is from Basic Gray, but it was actually made for Studio Calico. I also included several of the embellishments from the Hazelwood line that I had as part of my second kit, and the Paige Evans Pick Me Up line for Pink Paisley that was also part of my second kit, and I intermingled them with some of the embellishments from, actually I think that's the only embellishment I use from Studio Calico, and I also integrated some enamel dots just from my stash, and then these thicker word and shapes that came from an Amy Tangerine line, along with my Ellie Studio Title Builder stamp set that I used on a scrap of pattern paper from my kit, from the kit that I put together for this. So this is about a character meeting, and then we were just in line for something at Disney World back in 2007. So here's my next layout, and once again, it is a mix of old and new. The older portion I'm referring to my second round. So I've got paper from the Hazelwood line, and then paper from Studio Calico, embellishments from Studio Calico, embellishments from Pink Paisley. I did bring in this alpha. This is actually the Fitzgerald alpha in silver glitter, and I am covering up a portion of my title. My nephew's last name is an actual word, and this is a story, and this is actually a layout where I'm using the photo not to tell the story of the photo, but to use the photo as like kind of like showing who I'm referring to and around the age when I'm referring to it. This is my nephew with his cousin, and at the time, and it was just about this time, they were maybe a little bit older, but definitely not by much. And my nephew's cousin did something, and he has a name, like I said, it means something. So I'm going to use an example as opposed to actually using their last name. So my nephew's cousin did something, and my nephew asked his mother, does this now mean that cousin sweet is now cousin sour? And so, which I thought was pretty logical for a child because of, you know, the correlation between the different words. And, but, you know, my nephew's mom explained that, no, your last name is your last name for life, no matter what you do. So I just thought that was a really, it's one of my favorite, like, funny, humorous stories coming out from that time period. So I wanted to make sure to tell that. So this is that particular layout. All right. Next up is this one. This is called Rad Yard Fun. And this is one where I had pretty much used up with this layout. Hold on. This was the last puffy sticker from the Paige Evans line. And these were the last two stickers from the Hazelwood line. So you'll see I'm bringing other things in. I'm bringing in some of the enamel dots. I'm bringing in some puffy stickers from other lines. And the first three I started, I did a crop I attended back at the end of April, so not that long ago. And one of the things I was doing, if you watch my other videos, I did mention this, is I was bringing in a lot of stuff from my stash that I just had little bits left. So I only had a few of these epoxy wood buttons left. I just had a few of these puffy stickers by Amy Tangerine left. So I was trying to use them up on my layouts as I could. So this one is actually the last one from this class that I did at the crop. The last two I did once I got back when I was back at home. So this is about my nephew and his friend playing in our yard, and I was super excited that I actually managed to use this laser cut from the Studio Calico kit, because I didn't know, it's just not a word I use often, but it fit this particular story well. And it's not an important story, but it is a period of time where they enjoyed playing outside, and this swing set that we no longer have because my nephew is 17, and playing out with the dog out there and everything like that. So I wanted to talk about the fact that he used to play in the yard and everything, and now he's a teenager, so if he leaves his room, it's a, bonus. So here is that layout. And next up, we have this one, and it is called Lobby Performer. This is from a Maggie Holmes line. I believe it's from the line Gather. I went pretty simple. I am using this really bold background. I don't know if you can tell, but the diagonal stripes are actually gold foil, and I thought it picked up the color in his saxophone quite well. So I used a bunch of scraps, and once again, it's a mix. This is from the Paige Evans Pick Me Up line. This is from the Studio Calico kit. This is from Paige Evans, and then I have two layers here that are the back and front of one piece of paper from the Studio Calico kit. And once again, I had some enamel dots that I was just trying to finish off the pack, and I liked the way it looked. It's just a super cute one. This particular story is that last year, for the orientation night at his school, his music teacher asked my nephew and a couple other students to come and play in the lobby while new students, it was new student orientation. So it was all the 6th graders coming in who hadn't been at the school, and then any other student from another grade who hadn't been at the school before. So just kind of to introduce the music program and show them what you can do and blah, 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 so on and so forth. They were playing in the lobby while people were picking up their schedules and getting their instructions. So there is that one. And one last layout. This is mainly the Studio Calico kit, because at this point I really didn't have anything left from my original kit. I do have this one piece of pattern paper that was a complete scrap. I mean, like literally it's only that big, the entire thing. So the rest of this all came from the Studio Calico kit. These little plastic flowers came in the kit, and since I had basically all I had left was this pink cardstock, then this gray, red, and pink background paper, and I just left the branding strip on, and then this gray and white grid paper. I kept it pretty monochromatic with the pinks, the reds, and then the neutral of the gray. I added some puffy stickers and some regular stickers that I keep in a little wicker basket right up here. They're just things, as I mentioned, that I want to make sure I'm using. They're either brand new or I just have a little bit left. So these puffy stickers, I think I only use these two. come from a Studio Calico 7 paper, and so these are the only two I have left. I did use this little tiny heart, which apparently I'm going to have to liquid glue down because it is not sticky anymore. So my whole point is that I'm trying to work through some stuff that I really just have a tiny bit left, and it will work on just random layouts, and I don't necessarily have to have it as part of a line, and I'm just trying to work my way through. So, shockingly enough, this particular layout is about my nephew's visit with the Easter Bunny, and this is obviously his first one. And that was the last layout I made for round 3 with Shimelle's Clear the Desk class. There is one more round, round 4, and I will be sharing with you the kit I'm going to make for that. And then once again, I will come back and share the layouts I made. As I mentioned, I don't feel comfortable making process videos for these because it is paid class content, and normally when I'm doing a process video, I'm talking about decisions I'm making design-wise, and because these aren't my design ideas, these aren't just things that randomly come to my brain, that I am following class content, I just didn't feel comfortable sharing that as part of a process video. All right, folks, if you have any questions for me, just leave it down in the comment section and I will get back to you. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again, and bye.